Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Paper Crafting Thursday. I'm Leslie Watkins. Whoops, let me push the right buttons here. How are you? We have a snow day here in Connecticut. It's looking really beautiful outside. The tall man is out there shoveling out the driveway. The fire's going. We've had so many birds at the feeder. It's been a wild morning. The cats are going crazy, and we're all just completely captivated by the birds. So maybe I'll share some pictures later on my personal page. But today what I want to do is show you how I am going to decorate a fancy holiday gift box. And this is a simple what we call an explosion box, which I will show to you in just a second. But I've also done a little bit of extra prep work for the decorations, the floral decorations. I'm thinking now that I may want to add something to the inside of the box, so this may be a two-part video. But today I'm just going to show you the basics, and so let me turn you down and we'll get started. So here are some of the pieces. Here's a basic box that I've made, which I may or may not incorporate into the fancy gift box. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. But this is the color scheme and the decorative papers that I'm going to be using today. I love this golden greenery suite. And this is the mossy meadow, and this is the wild wheat. I love this color combination. I'm also going to be using this decorative paper from the set. So this is a very pretty kind of an old olive on mossy meadow leafy pattern. I've used a little bit of the golden side, but this is what's going to be mainly on the inside of the box. And so I've gone ahead, I've cut out a bunch of pieces. I've got the lid ready to go, so this is all cut out. And I have the base of the box partly assembled. I've created these pockets from the sides, and those are going to come up together like this, and then when you open the box, it opens up into an explosion. I am not going to have things flying out into people's faces. I'm just going to have it explode open, is what I'm referring to here. And before I go any further with assembling these pieces, I want to add some decorative layers because it's a lot easier to add these things when the pieces are still flat. So that's what we're going to begin with. And let me just check my settings, make sure that this is working okay. That looks pretty good. And okay, I think you can see and hear me, and I see Ginger. Good morning, Ginger, and hi, Kelly. Nice to see you both. I hope you're having a nice day where you are. I'm kind of excited to have a snow day here because it's the first really heavier snow of the season. We have about, I don't know, 6 or 7 inches, I'd say. So where I live in Connecticut, it's called the Icebox of Connecticut because we're at a higher elevation than all of the rest of Connecticut. And the snow and the colder weathers come here sooner than other places in Connecticut. So these are the side panels, and I'm just going to put them on all 4 sides like this. And when you add your glue to a decorative paper that has a metallic foil to it. You want to give it a little bit extra drying time because it's not as absorbent as the cardstock is. So I'm just going to be careful that I get this on here where I want it, and then I don't want to bump it. So there's my first piece. Just going to keep making my way around here. I also did a little bit of sewing for the decoration on the top, and that's why I was a little bit delayed today, because I didn't want you to wait for me to do the sewing in the background. And I'm a slow sewer. I take my time because I'm not very experienced at it. I'm sort of experienced in that I have my grandmother's treadle sewing machine that she gave me when I was about, oh, I don't know, maybe 10, 11, 12 years old. And I treasure this machine. And it still works beautifully. It's a Wheeler and Wilson sewing machine. I think it's from 1880. And it's a beautiful thing. It's been chewed on by dogs. It's been moved around quite a bit. It's been refinished a few times, but it still works really well, and I love it. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead, give those a good burnish. Make sure the adhesion is good. See, I've got a little bit of glue coming out here. I'm going to grab a tissue. I'll come back with my glue eraser and clean that up. Now I've got the tissue stuck to the thing. So there we go. There are the sides. They're all done. Now I can go ahead and assemble the box. I'm going to wait for the lid till after. That's the last thing that's going to go on. And the way I like to do this is to begin with my tabs. I'm just going to tuck that in, and I want to be sure that my corner meets nicely, and I'm just going to hold that in place for just a second, make sure that I have that positioned right where I want it. I'm going to move around to the next one. Same thing. I'm just going to take a minute to give that a quick burnish, because that's going to help to lock it into place. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to move on to this one. There we go. Tuck that in. Okay. Give that a good inspection, make sure that everything's where it needs to be. It looks fine. Okay, so now we've got these flaps. These are the reinforcement flaps, so I'm just going to go ahead and put some glue on there. Tuck that in. I like to do opposite sides. It's a little bit easier to hang on to that way. Hold that for just a second. And the other, aside from the reinforcing of the strength of the lid, this also makes for a very neat finish on the inside because it covers up those flaps, so you have a beautiful interior. And I will be decorating the inside of the lid with some of this paper as well. I think the inside of the lid is also a really nice place to put your sentiment or a note. So there we go. So that's my reinforced box top lid, and it's looking very pretty and it feels nice and sturdy. Okay, so I'm going to leave that over here for the moment. Now I've got these little cards that I used the tab punch to create this little tab on. So this is the punch. I forget the name of this punch, but I think it's called tab punch. And it gave me this nice little doubled up tab to pull these or slide these things out. And then what I did was I took that same decorative paper and cut that as mats for these things, and I went around and I used the corner rounder to round those corners. So I'm just going to glue those things up. And these little cards are perfect for sentiments, photos, journaling, if you want to make a kind of a journaling box so that you could write dates and occasions, put little mementos, whatever you like. So there it is. That's what that looks like. Get that centered on there. I'll come back and give that a good burnish in just a second. Hey, Deb! Good morning. Actually, it's afternoon now, but good to see you here. What are you up to on this snowy day? Are you home crafting? Hope so. It's a good day for it. Deb lives just over the state line from me. She's in Massachusetts, so I'm sure she has some snow at her place as well. Do you, Deb? Do you have snow? Alrighty. Make sure that's on there nice and straight. go. All right, now I'll give these a good burnishing. Okay, so there we are. Here's our cards to tuck into the inside of the box. Now what I have are some mats, and I cut these out of the mossy meadow, and these are going to go on the sides of the box, but I want to add these decorative mats first. And what I did with these was that I used the Stylish Shapes dies. So they have these nice little square ones here, and I used that biggest one. And that gave me this really nice kind of pinhole decorative edge. And I'm going to go ahead and mount these up. If I was smart, I would have done a bunch of this ahead of time and just shown you a couple of things so you didn't have to watch me glue all of them, but it's a nice day for having a nice cup of coffee or tea and watching a crafting video, so I hope you're enjoying that. Make sure that that's on there straight. I love this pattern. It reminds me of a William Morris print, and of course I love anything green with foliage, so it hits all the marks. Beverly. Hi, Bev. Yes. So did I cut and score pieces on camera? Need to make some boxes. I'm going to make a PDF, Bev, of all the instructions on how to make this box, and I will make that available. So if anybody's interested in getting the PDF and the how-to video to make the fancy gift box, make sure that you are on my notes list, because that is how I'm able to send things out to folks. So if you're watching on Facebook, at the top of the page there's a button up in the banner. It says sign up, and that will take you to my email list that is for my newsletter called Notes, and I will have information in there about what's coming up. I've got some classes and workshops coming up. I've got that demonstration that I'll be doing in New York this weekend, watercolor for calligraphers, and all sorts of other things. So you'll also get early announcements for special events that fill up quickly. So please make sure that you are signed up for Notes, and I'm going to be offering a PDF of the fancy gift boxes, because that was a class that I had in the pop-up shop that people really seem to like. So do that, and I will get all that information to you. All right, so there are my side panels. I'm going to go ahead, give those a good burnish. I don't know what I'd do without my bone folder. I guess if you don't have a bone folder, you could use a teaspoon in a pinch, but if you don't have one, you really should get one. They're very inexpensive, and I just think they're indispensable. All right, so there they are. Got a couple of extras here. And where's my box? Here's my box. So these are going to go on the outside, like so. Let me move these things out of the way so you can see a little bit better. There we go. Actually, I'm telling you the wrong thing. I'm putting these on the inside. These are the inside panels. Now, I know that the thumb hole makes this a little bit off center. So what I want to do is I want to snug this down just about to where the crease is, but not on the crease. I don't want the mat to interfere with the folding of the crease there. So I'm just scooching it down a little bit, and then I've got one big piece for the center, which is here. So this is going to go on there. Let me keep making my way around here though. Here we go. Okay, so that's the basic structure of the box without any decoration. Now, you can use this box just like this and put some candy or a little treat bag or something like that on the inside. I don't want to say just yet what I'm going to be using this for because I don't want to give the surprise away. But I'm going to be adding a holder that is going to glue down to the inside. So I'll give you an idea of what that would look like, but I'm not actually going to glue it down. Because in this case, the box is going to be a kind of a presentation box. So the sides are going to open. There's going to be a little holder that's going to hold something, and it could be a piece of jewelry, it could be an ornament, it could be candy, it could be whatever it is that you have in mind for your recipient. You can make the appropriate base, but I just wanted to give you an idea. You could put another box nested inside there. This one might be a little bit too big to do that. It just makes it, okay, but then it would open like this, and they would have the surprise of whatever's in the next box. Now I have my cards here, so these are great. As I mentioned before, you can put photos on them, notes, sentiments, and they just tuck right down. I've got one for each side. You could put gift cards in here. You could put cash. All sorts of goodies. All right, so there it is, basically assembled. And here's my lid. I'm just going to scoop up those sides. Okay, so that's the basic structure of the box. Now I'm going to give you a little preview of how I'm going to decorate it. Let's see. Ginger says, would love to have that. Well, you never know, Ginger. Deb says, I have my ornaments to finish making and boxes as well. Gang. These are great for ornaments. So you could put, I was thinking, you know, you could put like a little lower box that had a shape cut out, say a circle or an oval, and then you would just put your ornament in the center. I think that would be really, really cute. I gotta put a little bit of glue on there. Let me just get that real quick. Okay, so now for the lid, I have some of my sculpted paper flowers that I made previously ready to go. So I've got all my goodies in here. So here are the flowers, and these are Christmas roses, and I made two of the larger ones and one of the smaller ones, and then what I did was I put dimensionals on the bottom, and sometimes I doubled them up, and sometimes I just use them as a single layer, and that's going to help for these things to hold their shape when I assemble them. And then what I did was I took a piece of that same designer series paper, and I have another piece that is the flip side. Okay, so you can see it's just the other side there. And I went ahead and I stitched that. I also mounted that onto a piece of the old olive. So this is really sturdy. It's 3 layers thick. And I added a bow. Okay, so that is a bow that stays in place. And then what I did was I used this wonderful new ribbon. This just came out. It's called the Open Weave Trim, and it's gold. I got this in the pre-order, so this is something that's going to be available soon. It's only available to demonstrators right now. But I love this stuff because what you can do, so what I did in this case was I folded it over on itself 3 times like that, and then I stitched it into place. So this is messy stitching. You can see it's just messy zigzag stitching. But what this does is provides me with a surface that I can stitch little beads and decorations, feathers, anything I want to add to the top. So that's what I'm going to do now. Not now on camera, but next. This is going to go on my lid like so. And then I will get my flowers arranged. Okay, so say something like this. And then what I will do is I'll go around and put some pretty beads in there. So I have some, remember those beautiful gold leaves, the little holly leaves? Those would be great. I have something I can show you here. So here's an example. Here's an example of a Christmas journal that I did. I think this was last year's. And I took this leafy ribbon and I just stitched that down into place, and then I added these little red beads for the holly berries. And in order to do that, I added some cheesecloth. I could have done it right on the cardstock, but the cheesecloth also helps to hold the stitches the way that this gold mesh will do. So that's the plan. I hope that gives you some ideas, and remember, if you're interested in getting the PDF and the how-to video on how to make the fancy holiday gift box with all the dimensions and materials, you want to make sure that you sign up for notes from Dandelion Cottage, and you'll find out how you can get all that. So thank you very much, everybody. I'm just going to check and see if there's any notes here. Deb loves the top. Thank you so much, Deb. Oh, she says she loves the mesh. She still has the silver. Yeah, the silver is awesome. See, when we got that silver, this stuff, it was at Halloween a couple of years ago, and I used it just as I'm describing to you today, and that's how I first became familiar with it. And I have some silver left over as well. So this, I was very excited to see that come back. So yeah. All right, I'm looking, and I don't see any questions. I don't think. I think we're good. I don't see any questions. If I'm missing something, I'm sorry. I'll write my response. So for those of you who are having a snow, oh, you know what? Before I go, I did promise you that I was going to show you this, so I'll do this very quickly. So this was a what I call the post-Christmas journal, and I like to show this to you ahead of time, and I call it the post-Christmas journal because it's decorated with all the things that you get over the course of the Christmas season. So if you have some pretty wrapping paper or tags or Christmas cards that are so pretty that you're wondering what you might be able to do with them, well, you can make a journal with them. So you can see it. It's really chunky, maybe a little bit too chunky. Maybe I should have made the spine bigger. And it has this belly band, and this belly band is actually the tall man's father's wedding vest belt. And so I thought that was really cool, and I wanted to make sure that I saved that and used it for something. And so I have that here. Here's the buckle. And I added the red and green buttons, and this just slides off. I'm just going to slide that down. I haven't adhered the cover yet because I'm still debating whether or not I want to use this on a box or if I want to use it on the journal. But I'm going to go through this fast because you can go back to an older video and see the much longer one. But just to give you an idea that, you know, a lot of these things were ribbons and cards, Christmas cards, and there's a lot of things, techniques like stenciling, gold foil. Here's a little flat ornament of a chickadee. Oh, there are those little golden holly leaves that I had mentioned. So these are great for the lids of boxes too. You can stitch those on. So a little bit of everything here. This may actually be 2 years old. It may be. Here's a little beautiful pearlescent card. I haven't even mounted that yet. Maybe this year I'll finish it up. All right, but I think you get the idea. If you'd like to see the longer video, just do a little search on my YouTube channel for the post-Christmas journal, and it should come up. Here are some calligraphy names that are just too beautiful to discard, so I've got them tucked in here. What was this? Oh, my secret Christmas cookie recipe. Very important. So there you have it. So start saving your Christmas things now. Put them in a little box, and after Christmas we'll be doing the post-Christmas journal. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Stay well, stay happy, stay creative, and I will see you next time.